I'm busy. Linda, listen. It's Bad Dog Podcast. Stay tuned. You are now listening to Bad Dog Podcast. What's up, you guys? It's Bad Dog Podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, go ahead and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're going to be dropping the video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Or if you're a listener, if you like to listen, go ahead and go to Spotify and you can go ahead and stream the podcast there. We'll leave the link down below for that. Today, we're going to be talking about perfection, man. It's a lot of y'all out there, man. Y'all perfectionists, man. Y'all like to do things a certain way and, you want it to be a certain type of, you know how it is. You're perfectionists. You already know. I ain't got to tell you because you already know. So I wanted to look up the definition of perfectionist. We always got to, be politically correct. We got to make sure that we understand the word and what the word really is so that we can know what it is. A lot of people use words, they don't even know what it means. They just be using it and because it sounds cool. It's like we don't do that here. We understand what the words mean, and so we're going to get into it. So the definition of perfection, is the condition, the state or quality of being free or as free as possible from all flaws or defects. Now that's cold. That means that you got to really be, really in your zone, in your element, and not even worry about making mistakes. You ain't worried about if people gonna like it. Oh man, what if it don't come out right? Nah, we ain't worried about that, man. We ain't worried about that. And a lot of people, they get being a perfectionist and making something perfect, they get that misconstrued. Because if you're worried about something not being perfect, then that means that you're not doing it with the authenticity that you should be doing it with. And a lot of people will refrain from doing a lot of stuff because it's not perfect. It's not what I wanted it to be. Well, that's okay, because part of being a perfectionist is doing it and making sure that you're doing it with, all of your heart, and you're doing it confident. Remember the last episode? Confidence? Yeah, confident. There's that word again. You're always going to need confidence no matter what you're doing. And so I'm going to read to you guys the intro to my book. If you haven't got my book, go ahead and go get the book, man. You can go to my Instagram. I got the link in my Instagram, Digital Products, and you can go download the book right now. Like download it, like from the computer to your phone, and you can go read it. So I'm gonna go ahead and break it down for y'all. But this is the intro to my book. If you guys go get the book or not. It says, a well-known artist painted a beautiful portrait for all the people to see. In this painting, the people will find peace and joy. Unfortunately, it created an uproar and fights broke out among the people, confused about the true meaning behind the portrait. One by one, each person expressed what they thought it was. Sadly shaking his head, he replied, "No, I'm sorry." Not being able to figure out the meaning, the whole crowd decided to hang him, writing down his last words for the next artist to be, and he wrote, "The urge to be perfect will always kill an artist, whether it be from his own hands or the hands of those who admire him. My portrait was supposed to help people see beauty the way they want to see it, the way life should be for all." Now, the reason why I put that in my book was because I used to be a perfectionist. Like I would procrastinate from doing stuff because it wasn't what I perceived people would perceive as being a masterpiece or being perfect. And so a lot of the times people don't know what perfect is. Like you really don't. Like Like, you got to think about people like Picasso and like all of these famous artists and, people that have done, incredible stuff that made credible art. Like, you have to understand, like, they weren't in no state of, man, this has to be perfect. Man, I have to. No, they were just doing what they do, and they were doing it confidently, and they were doing it to the best of their ability. So that's to say that if you are doing something, if you're an artist or, you doing something and you're being creative in your creative space, just have fun and be confident in your creative space, man. Don't worry about what that person's doing, what this person's doing. Oh, well, that person did it like this last time, so maybe I should do it. No, 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 no. That's not your swag. That's not your flavor, honey. That's not you. You have to do what's authentic to you. They're just doing what's authentic to them. And so even in writing my book, man, like honestly, like my book is based on my experiences and my observations of what I noticed and what I've seen just with behavior, just, my little journeys through life, repeating certain, cause a lot of stuff I repeated, not in the book, but I mean, like, a lot of like situations I've been in, I repeated it so many times to where it's second nature. It was like, dang, it's almost like deja vu. It's like, you ever had deja vu and something happened in your life and then you was like, dang, how did I knew that was going to happen? Whether you seen it in a dream or it just felt familiar. Like, that's what it comes from. And so, like, I never want to repeat past experiences because I feel like if you do that, you don't grow. And so that's why I'm always, looking to do new things. I'm always trying to be different, always just looking what's the next best thing, what else is, going on that people aren't really looking at. And so even in writing my book, man, like I told you, like, I didn't write the book with expectations of selling 1 million copies, in my first week. And like, no, I'm not looking, because if that what my goal was in writing the book, then you guys would have got a completely different book. And then 9 times out of 10, the book still wouldn't have sold 1 million copies. And I just put a whole bunch of energy and time in something that wasn't really me. You know what I'm saying? So that was the main thing for me. And then too, in writing the book, the time that I was taking, like, in between, that I wasn't really writing the book, that I was just kind of like, procrastinating, those are the times that, like, a lot of doubt and, like, unsure and unconfident thoughts, those are when they started kicking in. And so I had to shake them off. I was like, nah, I'm about to go write the book. It's going to be like this. It's going to be a hit. And that it is what it is, and even when I published it and I put it out, it's done. Like, it's done like that. Like, that's my masterpiece. Like, it's done. Like, there's no going back. There's no, oh man, you should have did this. Man, why you didn't write that? No. I wrote it the way that it should have been written. You see what I'm saying? And that goes back to our second episode, which I talked about confidence. And if you guys haven't already heard that podcast, you guys can go back and listen to it. But yeah, man, confidence is key. You can't do anything without a certain amount of confidence, and even being an artist. And that's what the intro of my book, that's what it's pertaining to. A lot of people want to categorize your work. A lot of people want to categorize your life, how you should live your life. And the truth is, they don't know how you should live your life because they don't know how to live their life. And so you got a lot of people in the world, man, that they're going to try to put you in a box because they don't know where they belong. And like, my biggest thing to you is don't let them do that. Don't let them do that. Mind you, I was in prison. Like, the statistics for me going back are extremely high, especially how things are now. It's extremely high. And so just for me, staying out, doing my thing, not worrying about, all of that stuff, it helps me and it builds me up to be a bigger and better person than I was when I was in prison. So that's just, to keep you guys in that state of mind, man, to where you guys don't trip off of what's perfect, what isn't perfect, what somebody's doing, what nobody's doing. Do it. Because every time you do something and you stop doing it, you were this close to reaching your peak. You never know. You could have been this close to the finish line and then you gave up. Could have. So don't sit there and let being a perfectionist, man, don't sit there and let that stuff, get to you. Because at the end of the day, the only person that's gonna recognize and understand what perfection is you. Because you're the artist. They always say that you're your biggest judge, you're your biggest critic. And I feel like, you shouldn't even be your own critic. You know what I'm saying? There's thousands of people that's going to be critics for you. Like, don't even focus on that. You need to focus on what's, genuine to you so that you can put out your best work. That's what it's about. It's about putting out your best work. And the only time you can put out your best work is when you're confident in what you're doing and you are in your zone. So don't let people do that to you. And the other thing too about being a perfectionist too is it's like circumstances, man. It's like you got a lot of people got people that was born with wealth, riches, and then you got people that was born in poverty. But if you really look at it, if you really take away the riches and you take away the aspect of somebody being in poverty, bro, we're all the same. Like everybody starts with a blank canvas. It's all on you, on what are you going to do with that canvas. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who grew up in a household with a lot of money, they experience life from a different perspective. That's all it is. They're experiencing life from a different perspective, but their perspective from that life, they still have to grow from there. That's what people don't realize. It's that, and this is a talk that a lot of people who feel are mentally in a state of being in poverty, or I don't have a lot of money and stuff like that. That's what they fail to realize, is that these people that have children who already have accumulated wealth, they're more terrified for their children than the people who grow up in poverty are for their children. Because again, it's like if they don't, and I reference this in my book as well, if they don't know how the wealth was maintained, if they don't know how the wealth was accumulated, they're not going to know how to maintain it. And this is like the biggest, scariest thing for a lot of wealthy people. A lot of wealthy people don't know how their kids are going to maintain in this world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you get a shoe in. You know what I'm saying? You get a shoe in. Yeah, your dad already got money. Your mom already got money. But life, like I told you guys, life is going to move on. And stuff is going to change. And so the biggest thing with, having, those people that have kids that grow up in poverty, they can't map out their future for them. And past experiences and histories will show you that. You can go back and you can see all the successful people that had kids and, had money. And then as soon as they passed away, what they ended up doing with the money. You see what I'm saying? They already had the tools, but again, they didn't have no creativity. You still got to have creativity. You still have to be able to turn something into something more. You see what I'm saying? And what a lot of self-made millionaires and people that have money that started with literally nothing, what they will tell you is it's a lot easier. I know it sounds crazy, but it's a lot easier to accumulate and build wealth when you have nothing. Because you have to think about it like this. If you already have a lot of money, and let's say you want to start a business, you're going to throw a whole bunch of money into advertising. You're going to throw a whole bunch of money into, people to develop products for you and all this stuff. But again, it's not going to be the same because you have the money. If you were to lose that money, it's not going to mean nothing to you because you weren't carefully, watching it. You weren't carefully analyzing, okay, I need to spend this much money and see how it does before I just throw some more money into it. People that try to start businesses with a lot of money, 80% of them fail. They fail because of, that freedom, that looseness of, oh, I can blow 100,000. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but how many times can you do that? That's usually where a lot of people mess up in business. Is they start with a whole bunch of capital and then they throw capital at a whole bunch of obstacles that they think the capital will solve, but it doesn't, because you still have to be creative. You still have to watch the transition of your idea blossom and bloom. If you don't really have an in and out to what it is you're doing, you're just throwing money in the wind. And then you don't know who to hire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't, I mean, yeah, your parents and, you know, colleagues and people can put you in line with people. But again, you got to understand people's motives. You got to understand, you know, is this person really trying to help me, or is this person just trying to get some money because he know my dad has it and he knows I'm trying to do something and keep the money going. So like when you start off with money, a lot of stuff, like it kicks in. And like a lot of like self-made millionaires, like that's the beginning. That's always the stress for them is, man, how are my kids gonna make it, you know, when I leave? I can set them up with a trust fund, yeah, but even like the wealthy people that I know, like, they're smart. Even setting their kids up with trust funds, it's like, my kids have to do this, and this, otherwise they don't get no money. Like, straight up, like, my kids just, I'm not just gonna die and my kids get all these millions. No, they need to have a business plan. They need to have this in place, and they need to at least take one course in business. They need to take one course in psychology, like something along those lines, and then they can get the wealth. You see what I'm saying? But if, you know, you just give them the money, they're not gonna know what to do with it. They're just gonna spend it freely. They're just gonna keep spending it, and then, you know, by the time they get to their last little twos and fews, then they're gonna start trying to stress and figure out, man, that money went kind of fast. I got to figure out what to invest in. I got to figure out what to, you see what I'm saying? But when you start off at a lower level, you can gradually build on top of that. And that's the biggest thing that a lot of successful kids that already obtained money, that's what they envy about people who start from the bottom and then they get to a certain point and then they just keep climbing. It's like, well, dang, I started with this. He didn't start with nothing, and he studied going. How is that? Because he done his research. And one thing about starting from the bottom is that you can't go nowhere but up. like honestly, like, if you start from the bottom, you can either get comfortable with being at the bottom, or you can say, you know what? Hey, self, what do we need to do in order to get up there? You see what I'm saying? And then from there, you start orchestrating plans. You start seeing how stuff work. You start really understanding the value of your money, the value of your dollar, and you start putting it to work for you in certain areas that you want to see it grow. That's the difference. You see what I'm saying? When you start from nothing and you build something, you appreciate it more because it took you longer to get it. It took you real energy. It took you focus to really do what you needed to do. And so, yeah, man, don't try to be a perfectionist, you know, because it's not gonna work. You know, being a perfectionist is being comfortable with yourself, being comfortable with what you created. You see what I'm saying? So don't sit there and see what somebody else got and tries to compare it to, you know, what you're doing, because that's the number one way to cripple your creativity. Is comparison. And if you look in society, I mean, that's, you know, that's what we do. You know, they got the Forbes list, you know, in sports, you know, oh, this person has 4 rings. Oh, this person has 3. You know, it's all about, you know, comparison. And like, just for me, I'm a basketball guy. So like, just for me, like, just watching like how sports like really transgressed and, you know, stuff like that. You take people like Michael Jordan, and you take people like Kobe Bryant and like all of these like self-renowned athletes, and like you can go back and watch all of their interviews, like they'll tell you, like, there was a time where I was weak, like I couldn't hit a jump shot. Jordan couldn't dribble. Jordan used to get dogged by his older brother all the time. That's where that fight came from. It came from him always being at the bottom. You see what I'm saying? So for people like, you know, those people, they weren't in competition of trying to be, you know, like the people that started before them. They were trying to be a better version of themselves. And I feel like, you know, and this is just my opinion. My opinion doesn't mean nothing to no one but me. But, you know, you have a lot of people that got into the league that was trying to be somebody else that they weren't. And I feel like that's where a lot of us, we missed the boat. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be the next this, trying to be the next that. No, how about you be the better you? And then you focus on that. And then from there, you can grow and you can see your progress and you can continue to go. In other words, don't let trying to be a perfectionist stop your progression. Don't do that. And I feel like, you know, like I said, I feel like a lot of people jumped in the league wanting to be the next Jordan or the next LeBron, and that's where it stumbled, because there's only going to be one. There's only gonna be one. What are you gonna do? Change your number to 23 and then tell the news anchor and everybody, like, hey man, instead of you guys calling me by my actual name, I want you guys to refer to me as Michael Jordan Jr. I want my name on the back of my jersey to say the next Kobe Bryant. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to be the better version of yourself, because those guys were in competition with nobody but themselves. In their eyes, they didn't see no one else, not taken away from all the people that they were in competition with, in the league growing up. But it's just saying, like, bro, like, I can't focus on trying to be better than you. If I do that, I already lost. Because if I'm trying to look to be better than you, then I must already see insecurities in myself that I can't match with you. Doesn't work like that. You got to be the best version of yourself, man. Don't let that stop you from doing whatever it is that you want to do, because at the end of the day, like I told you guys, you're the only one in the way of stopping you from doing whatever it is that you want to do. It's not trying to be a perfectionist. It's not us. No, it's you. So that's the main thing I wanted, to talk to you guys about, man. Is being a perfectionist is nothing. It's nothing. Picasso, he made a whole bunch of paintings. He, for all we know, he could have been painting those paintings with his eyes closed. No, seriously, like, think about that. Like, this dude could have been painting with his eyes closed and, just been in the vibe, just in the mood. He probably sipping on some red wine, just like, yeah, ooh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that feels good. That feels good. Yeah, go ahead and put that out and see what they think about it. And the people that eat it up, they be like, wow, you see that? And it's just like, bro, like, he he didn't do nothing but drink some wine and slap some paint on the brush and, went to work. Like, but again, like, your work, your authenticity, can't even say it right, but your genuine self will show in your work. That's what it comes down to. People aren't great or considered great because everyone takes a vote and says, yeah, I think he's great. Yeah, I think he's great too. So let's all just, no, people perceive people to be great because of the work that they put in and the confidence that they have in their work. That's what perfectionist is. That's how you beat the odds. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about, just being a perfectionist. And yeah, man, go out there and be confident in you. You're perfect. I'm perfect. Don't let no one tell you you're not perfect. Even if you trip and fall down the stairs and you get up, that was perfect. That's what I wanted to do. Like, for real, that's how you got to do life. That's how you got to be in life. Because at the end of the day, nobody cares about your losses when the wins look better. Remember that. So I'm Troy. This has been Bad Dog Podcast. If you guys haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, you guys need to subscribe. We doing this 3 times a week. Come get y'all ism. Y'all need it just to enlighten you and to help you, get you in that mood, that state of mind that you need to be in to go out and be great. So I'm Troy. This is Bad Dog Podcast. And remember, you perfect. See you guys next time.